So 1st of November, it's gone cold, winter's here, going to be a frost tonight, fishing is slow, and whilst it's slow, let's go and take a look at what Mick and Darren have been achieving with the fishery here. I'm going to join them over at the course lake where they're going to be reintroducing some small carp that were caught here in the main lake. They were from what we would assume is last year's spawn or very early of this year. They were put in the stock pond, removed from here, put in the stock pond, and they were fed all summer long, and now they're being moved from the stock pond into the main course lake and the other bigger stock pond to winter, and then hopefully we'll have some new fish coming through next season. So let's go and join the lads and see what they've been at. These are some of the small baby fish that have been spawned in the carp lake just behind us. This is the course lake in front of us. Behind me this side is the carp lake. Now, these young little babies went into the stock ponds. The lads have been doing a lot of active management here over the last, well, over the last 3 or 4 years, but more intensively over the last 12 months. And what they've done is they've created a few stock ponds. They took young baby carp that were only about anywhere between 2 and 4 ounces in size, put them into the stock ponds, fed them pellets and other bits and pieces, and looked after them. And now they're going to be put into the course lake. Now, as I said, these were tiny when they went into the actual main lake, and they're little bars of gold, and they have huge big shoulders on them. I'm going to come real close so we can get a close up of that. But as you can see, they have massive big shoulders on them. These are real Frenchies at their very, very best. These are probably weighing about half a pound, just over half a pound. Some of them are up to 12 ounces already, but they're a great size for surviving. So it's brilliant to see these fish being put into the course lake here for other people to enjoy them. The great thing is though as well, is that this particular lake will grow them big as well, because it's a lot of natural feed in here. But oh, that's a beaut. That looks like a bit of a cross, doesn't it?
It's quite possible we have koi crosses in there with the koi that are already in the carp lake.
Yeah,
because say some slight colour variations.
There is colour variations going on with that one. The same with this one. I'm going to bring these both to the camera and hopefully we'll pick this up. But these fish, as I say, are absolutely gorgeous. And they have these really big, huge backs on them. Now, talking about the colour variation, it's probably not going to pick up too well on this, but these are like silver commons with then these kind of very orangey bits going through them. I probably won't pick up, but you know what? It's absolutely stunning. And here's 2 more for you, Dal. So,
that's the future football comment.
Yeah, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Real little chonkers. How many fish went into the stock pond? 84, and you reckon you're going to get about, well, most of them out anyway.
Open 84.
Actually, a few good in there as well. That's in the pond beforehand. That's scary happening on here.
Yeah. Oh no, they're stunning. Unusual thing though is the predominant fish in the carp lake is a mirror.
Yeah.
And yet the most predominant fish in this year's batch, which are obviously not this year's spawn but last year's, are commons. Like we were catching them in the summer on float gear, and for every 10 you caught on it, which was a common, 1 would be a mirror.
Yeah.
Is that about right with the ratio?
Be,
about
yeah.
10 to 1, or would it be?
10 to 1, yeah, we worked it out about 10 to 1,
now,
yeah.
We have got plans afoot for the future.
Go on, share the plans, Mick, share the plans. What are the plans, Mick?
Are, most guys who fish here already know we have a smaller lake on the premises.
Yeah.
We are now turning that into a stock pond.
Yeah.
And we're just going to put mirrors into that.
Right.
So hopefully, if all goes well and they start breeding up there, we will be able to increase the amount of mirrors, and in the future big mirrors, that we have in the carp lake.
You've got a mirror in this batch, haven't you?
4 mirrors. So
I'm dying to see these mirrors now because the mirrors are real peachy.
So we're just keeping them separated. And they're going to be part of the future.
So, down the line, are you going to be selling fish from here?
Well, once we get our own stocks back up to where we want, and then, you know, the plan is then to try and move them on then, because they're going to keep spawning.
Yeah,
We're just going to run out of places to put fish.
yeah.
You know, eventually we will run out of places.
But once we get to the stage where we're self-sufficient,
Yeah.
producing our own fish for our own lakes, then we will definitely look into the retail end of things.
Because I would imagine there would be a huge market for people looking to buy what is in effect French fish off you.
French strain, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's the case. Carp fishing is still a relatively young sport, so
Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely. Yeah, I have to bring this one in close. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it doesn't get peachier than that. I mean, that's so tiny, isn't it? And yet, look at that lovely scale pattern along the dorsal fin there, and it has a few little starburst scales along the lateral line as well. Stunning. Here you go, Mick.
back in there. They're going back into the stock pond.
Yeah. Here's another one. Oh no. Ooh. I have to show you this one. Here's a special one now. Here's a nice one as well. Same sort of deal. Very heavily scaled along the dorsal, with a nice few scales running along the lateral line again. Beautiful fish. Here you go, lads. I'm going to show this other one off. Now this is a beaut. Can you imagine catching that at 25 or 30 pound? That is absolutely stunning. Both sides, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, let's face it, it doesn't get much better than that.
And make a comparison there, Jerry. That's the size they went in.
All right, there you go. That's the size they went in, and a couple of months later, that's the size they're now. So these are what we would call, even though they haven't seen a winter yet, they're at a size that they're winterized so that they will last. When they're this small, it's a bit of pot luck. But when they get to this weight, you know, where they're a good 4 to 8 ounces, they've got a much bigger survival rate. So there you go, lads. I mean, they are just absolutely gorgeous. So, as you can see, the future for the fisheries here is very, very bright. The lads are working hard, as I said. They've done a huge amount of work on the place, building stock ponds. They've made what was in effect a bait lake at the top end of the lake, at the centre. There was a sort of a trout spot where people could do a bit of put and take trout fishing. But they've changed that all around now, and they've made that into a designated mirrors only carp pool. And it's a sizable pond now. I mean, it's a fishable pond if you were in any way interested in doing a bit of fishing. You'd actually have no problem sitting there for the day and banging out a few fish. But there's a lot of work being done here, and over the next 12 months I can see this place absolutely really coming alive from a fishery point of view. I mean, not that it isn't already alive as it is. Lads have done great work over the 3 or 4 years already, but we're seeing, you know, the youngsters coming in like this, and you know, some very definite fishery strategy being used on site. You know, the future's bright.